Hello everyone and welcome back to Phasmophobia. Today we're taking an updated look at the Poltergeist and how best to identify this ghost with little to no evidence. As with most poltergeists in pop culture, this ghost loves to throw everything in sight. It is more likely to throw items than other ghost types, and it is the only ghost that can throw multiple items at exactly the same time. For each item it throws, players nearby will lose 2% sanity per item throw. Thus, if you get a poltergeist that does a huge polter explosion of 10 items, it can tank your sanity by 20%. Thus, a great way to test for the poltergeist is to build a polter pile. Stack a large amount of items into a pile in the ghost room and wait. If you are near the pile when a polter explosion occurs, you will know instantly it is either a poltergeist or a mimic. If you've already ruled out a mimic as a possibility, you know it has to be a poltergeist. Your sanity only appears to drop if you are physically in the same room as the explosion, so you can try to watch the pile from outside the room you've built it in to avoid it. When the poltergeist does an explosion, it will create a large spike of activity on the activity monitor in the van. If you see a large 10 spike and there was no hunt or ghost event at that time, you can be sure it was a polter throw. A polter throw will not always create a 10 spike, however, as it just adds the activity from the multiple throws on top of each other. As such, if the poltergeist only throws 2 items at once, it could potentially create a smaller spike on the board. This is the one ghost that can cause a 4 and 5 spike on the activity monitor, which is usually the telltale sign of an EMF 5 ghost, but it'll end up not being EMF 5. If you see an activity spike of 6, 7, 8, or 9, and there was again no event happening, it was most likely a polter explosion as well. The poltergeist throws items every half second during hunts if there are items close enough for it to throw, and the sound can make a poltergeist very easy to identify during a hunt if it ends up being by a lot of objects. However, be careful using this ability solely to identify a poltergeist. Other ghosts have a 50% chance to throw an object every half second during a hunt, as opposed to the 100% chance the poltergeist has. So, another ghost could potentially trick you into thinking it's a poltergeist when it was just a particularly lucky ghost that was able to throw lots of items during the hunt. And, if the poltergeist is not close enough to items to throw them at this high frequency, it will sound just like other ghosts during hunts. Another way to identify the poltergeist is to look for the large throw only a poltergeist can do. Average ghosts can throw things with a power of 0 to 3, whereas the poltergeist can throw things with a power of 2 to 6. So, while some other throws will seem completely normal, it will occasionally do what we call a polter-ye, where an item goes absolutely flying after being thrown. These throws can happen both during and outside of hunts, and if you get a big one, it is pretty obvious when it occurs. As always, please keep an eye out on the pinned comments left on this video. As this is an early access game, there may be changes made to the game in the future that will affect information provided in this video. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for future content. I'd also like to give a big shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for the support. I could not be doing this without you. Happy hunting out there, everyone!